This is the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. This week, change the music there a little bit. This week, we're going to cover some of the updates and guild news that we've seen in the last 2 weeks because we did not have a podcast last week. And we will also be kicking off the HK51 quest line and talking a little bit about that because it's a really epic, classic companion quest line that a lot of people haven't done, or at least haven't done on many characters, so it's a good thing to remind us. This broadcast astromech is EPC 252. And playing alongside me is Seema. Hi, Seema. How's it going?
Hey, Max. Going pretty well. See, what have I been up to this week? We had kind of I took anyway, kind of a rest week from Conquest after winning a planet. We won the planet of Balmora, which was really cool. We took pictures, which I talked about. I guess I don't know if we didn't do a podcast last week, but anyway, yeah, we lined up on Balmora and took pictures of us with our titles on Conqueror of Balmora, so that was really fun. I hung out on Balmora all last week because, my planet. But after that, this current week that we're just ending, I did take a little bit of a break. I did 2 characters to the target, but it was just a really easy week, so that was still taking it kind of easy. We just finished MFN, and on MFN, we did something that we're going to do here tonight, which is we started off the HK51 quest. We had 16 people, and so we broke down into groups, and it went very, very smoothly, definitely. But yeah, so we were doing it in various parts, and then when it got time to start the search for parts, then we got back together in a couple of larger groups and ran around on Tatooine and found one of the parts. We still have to find all the rest, but it took us a while to get going and get it to the Theoretica, and then everyone had to figure out the puzzle. So it was a fun evening, but we didn't get a lot to the part where we find all the parts, so we'll still have to go back and do that. You and I, we did not have our own Ops Night last week because we were recording Working Class Nerds, which was a ton of fun. By the way, Marcus and Nick made us feel very welcome, and we had a very good conversation with them. And I'm sure you can find it in all the iTunes. I listened to it on Buzzsprout. And I also want to just kind of say there's been some drama over in WoWland this week because one of the faction leaders over there burned down a tree. And I'm like, we had a faction leader that sucked the life out of an entire planet and was going to do that to the rest of the galaxy. So
True. But yeah. Well, we won't go into spoilers on WoW, but we expect that from our emperors, our dark side emperors. I mean, in Star Wars, it's dark side, light side, and dark side is not like it's shades of gray and both sides are good. And from my perspective, the Jedi are evil. I mean, you can say that, but it's not actually true. There's good and there's bad, and dark side is bad. In WoW, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be both sides are, shades of gray, and, both sides have reason for their what they do. And both sides, from their own point of view are the good guys, except not right now and not at various points in history, it seems, for the poor Horde and the Horde players who are trying to say, hey, no, we're, what are you talking about? The Alliance is just as bad as us, except, for, all of the murdering of innocent civilians and whatnot that happens to be going on right now. So we won't get into it. But if you are in AIE, we have a whole Battle for Azeroth spoilers channel where you can spend all the time you want talking about why we are the baddies on the Horde side. So there you go.
Yeah, and I would just like to say I put it that way for the humor, but if I'm playing WoW, I was really taken by all the events that happened this week in WoW, and I totally get if people are upset.
Yeah.
and are questioning whether they ever want to play that game again. It's
Come play Star Wars.
pretty heavy duty.
If we say
Yeah, come play
bad,
Star
you're
Wars.
bad. If we say good, you're good. It's pretty clear. There you go. What have I been doing this week? Thank you for asking.
Yes, Max, what have you been doing?
I also took a little bit of a break from Conquest because we've been doing tons of stuff. We've got we did the Working Class Nerds. I still did a bunch of Star Wars stuff on the side. I did some stuff on the PTS. I was checking out the updates to the PTS. I have also, though, this is our big summer week of summer events for AIE. So I have also been checking in on all of the other games. So when I click over here on my installed games tab here in Windows, I see Final Fantasy and Lord of the Rings and Star Trek Online and Guild Wars and EVE and Elder Scrolls and World of Warcraft and all of the other Blizzard things that are in the Blizzard installer, which includes like Destiny, although I didn't play Destiny in the past couple months, as well as Star Wars The Old Republic, which is still #1 up in my upper left corner there, and continues to be my #1 game. Typically what I do is I play Star Wars, and then on the side in spare time I'll play like one other MMO. Lately I've been rotating through all of those other MMOs, and it's been taking up a lot of time. But mostly because now for this big summer of love is what we call it, our big summer events for AIE. We have these sort of made up fun events, sort of like MFN, but some of them are themed in games, and like our Amazing Race, which we've described in the past. We do those in lots of the different games. So I've been trying to check in and help out. I do a little bit of officering across all of the games that we have. So I've been trying to have fun with that. Yes, Working Class Nerds podcast was awesome. The mega event on Friday was also quite awesome. So that was hunting datacrons across all the planets. We did some of the really hard ones. We did Rishi, the +10 on Rishi. I happened to have 2 out of the 3 data packets. I went to the 3rd Groffit earlier that day. It was being camped by somebody. I switched over to the PvP map, and the rare was right there. So I felt bad. That guy was sitting there camping it for however long. I switched over to the map, and it was sitting right in front of me, and I got the 3rd data packet, so I was able to crack that one open. I have a character that lives on Makeb at the +10 endurance datacron, which is handy. So I just summoned the whole guild there. And then we had guildies spread out. Seema went and tracked down one of the really hard ones on Nar Shaddaa for us, and summoned us all there. So we got a good number of datacrons in a bunch of the hard places. And, shout out, of course, to Marcus for organizing those events. And then otherwise, just been keeping up with Conquest. As I said, I didn't do a lot of Conquest last week, but I've been sort of making sure I'm keeping track of the meta gaming and planning and strategy around Conquest that our guild's been doing. Sakic and Zen and B. Kavanaugh and Jana, who all focus very hardcore on at least understanding what the strategy for Conquest should be every week. They are the core team which helped to get us to this strategy so we could win a planet, for one. And for two, they're planning out our strategy for this week. We'll only very rarely be looking to win a planet. Our main strategy is, should we be going for a large planet this week? And since we play 2 factions at once, should we be going for small on the flip side? Because this is a Republic week. They've decided, these guys, even though all of our events this week are low key and we're not going to be putting up a lot of conquest points, they're leaning towards going for large target and medium target across our Republic side and Imperial sides, respectively. I love seeing all of the strategy. I believe a bunch of people have heard of B. Kavanaugh's awesome spreadsheet, which helps you plan out all of the things for how you want to get all your characters through Conquest. I believe there's lots of people out there in the community, even other guilds, that are using this spreadsheet. So keep an eye on it. It's highly recommended as a resource for you to go check out.
And I'll just mention right now too, since you're talking about conquest, if you're in AIE, just go drop what you're doing and go craft an invasion force right now. And if you don't have the mats for it, there's mats for it in the guild bank, and do it on the pub side.
Mm. That's right. This is an Imperial character. I can't do it on this character. We're going after pub side. We're pub side first. Pub side week. Go pub. We do.
Yes, go pub.
We do rotate. We do 2 Imperial weeks and then 1 Republic week. This week's a Republic week, which makes Zen very happy because he's Republic first, even though the rest of us are not. Sorry.
But he's having to work a lot this week, so
we got you. We got you back. We got your weak Republic. Your traitorous something back.
he has 6 characters to goal already and 4 more on the way.
Well, that
That's
is
incredible.
not very weak then, is it?
Good job.
All right, let's talk about what else is going on in the world of news about Star Wars and else.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
In the news, game news specifically, the PTS is coming down tomorrow. So this is Tuesday when we're recording. If you're hearing this on Wednesday or after, they're going to take the PTS down. And that's because within about 7 or 8 days, we're going to get an update. So they need to shut that down so they can practice up and use those resources for their final testing, make sure everything's solid. I'm hoping it is. We had plenty of people in there on the PTS that were doing a good amount of testing. It's a tricky bit of business that's in there for what's happening with the Rishi Stronghold in particular. So hopefully the bugs are worked out. If not, I'm sure they'll work them out over time. It's something really cool, and it exceeded my expectations for how they implemented it. So if there's a few bugs for them to work out over the course of the next couple weeks, I'm fine with that. We also should be seeing then coinciding with that update a double XP, double CXP week starting. So keep an eye out for that, potentially as early as next Wednesday.
And along with news from the PTS, they've also added a new 3-bedroom apartment to the Rishi Cove Stronghold, and it's down by the beach. So that'll be cool because, like you mentioned earlier, Max, you can just sort of live down there on the beach now if you want to.
Yeah, which I really do like. I like that beach. I like the whole stronghold, but it's sort of like 3 different strongholds in one. There's the whole beach area, which you could just sort of turn into a beach stronghold and a sort of a beachfront resort, which is really cool. There's the sky deck and the ship up above, which is its own thing in a number of ways. And then there's the sort of the junkyard style Rishi pirate town areas, including the dueling arena. If you sort of think of those as 3 separate things, then I appreciate that they added this extra area as part of the beach, so you could have apartments and like have the little living area down off of the beach area and sort of spend all your time there if you want. So that's cool.
I do like the Rishi Junktown thing. I mean, when Rishi was new, I loved that about it as well. So I like it in the Stronghold as well.
Also in the news, there's a post up there and a thread that's worth reading, and it's something that is something that we have some personal experience with, which is the way Conquest works right now is that you no longer have to invade a planet as a guild pretty much until nearly the end of the Conquest week. We were late in getting around to invading a planet 2 weeks ago when we were going after Balmora. We were pretty sure that it was still going to be fine. We waited probably a day and a half longer than the old deadline. It did provide us an opportunity to make sure we were going after a planet that didn't have some big guilds clobbering it out of the 19 planets that were available. But it did make us think that it was a little bit of a weird situation, and you could have a big guild invading at the last minute. And what happens when you invade at the last minute is all the points that you've built up leading up to that point all get dumped on that planet. You don't lose anything, and there's no multipliers to worry about. So we are happy that this has escalated. We sort of didn't like that ourselves. In fact, we didn't even feel that great about, being a day or day and a half past the cutoff of what it used to be. So we tried to make sure we got in there early, even though knew we were late, so that other guilds could have a chance to react over the weekend at least. But hopefully they'll fix that up and either revert it to that same cutoff that it was, or figure out how they're gonna account for that, because that was a little bit of a weird situation, and we felt weird being sort of in the midst of that as well.
Yeah, the way it was before, there was a timer, and it ticked down and showed a guild leader how long they had to actually commit to a planet, and we don't have that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the stuff that people made and crafted and the activities that they did I think they would still count towards the guild success, but they didn't have the bonuses, and now we don't have bonuses, so
yeah,
it's just a different system.
Yeah, which makes it sort of makes it no penalty, because there's no cutoff, there's no countdown, and there's no bonuses. There's no penalty for waiting like till Monday morning to find the planet that your guild is going to win and wait to invade until then. Now, on Starforge, the biggest guilds, which put up the most points, they're pretty set. There's 2 top guilds that could win any planet that they want, and from what I understand, those 2 guilds sort of have a little bit of arrangement where they never compete against each other. And then the next 2 guilds do have to then compete for whatever the 3rd planet is that's going to be up for grabs on a normal week. But then everyone else is way far behind. So it's not so much a problem on normal weeks, because it's a few of the usual suspects.
You're not going to win anyway,
right.
so yeah,
right. You're not going to win anyway. But on that total galactic war week, when there's 19 planets up for grabs, it's a whole different thing, and it does matter. And it is weird to say that you could just wait and have a guild that's been working hard all week and thinks that they're winning up until the last minute and get sniped. That would not feel so good.
Also, there's a list.
Yes.
I was going to say there's a list of updates to strongholds.
Mm-hmm.
Starting with, they think that decorations now should be properly set up to block line of sight for PvP. And I guess I would just add that if you do come across a decoration that isn't doing that, you could report it. They've also added a new options button to the Stronghold UI, which I guess allows you to set some options.
Yes. Yes, including the next thing on the list. But yeah, I don't know what else is in that list. But at least one thing we know of that's on the list. That was weird.
They made a toggle so that you can turn off PvP in the Rishi Stronghold. We've talked about this before, but it can be found under the options menu in your Stronghold UI. Okay, so there's the menu there.
Yeah. I did the same thing for first thing I read through that. I'm like, an options menu has been added. Okay. And then,
with the following options, you can have ice cream and tea on Wednesdays.
Yeah. So there we go.
Also, a couple of funny ones with the spectator droid. You can no longer use the nearby speeder, which that probably looked hilarious. And you'll be no longer impacted by AoE abilities. That must have been rude when it happened for the first time. Someone just calmly watching a PvP match and then they start to die.
Yes, I would imagine.
The bolster terminal, you can turn on and off bolster. It'll now glow blue like a regular interactable item. Also, if you have visitors in your stronghold, they can't interact with the terminals unless they have a key. So you can control who can start and stop PvP. They addressed some issues where some of the hooks were not usable. So they should all be usable now. And they added some additional hooks. So possibly for the apartment, but also there were some big areas that didn't have hooks. They also made it so that some of the wall and cover decorations can work on a wider variety of hook types, which that'll be welcome, I'm sure. And then Eric also posted a little clarification on the stronghold sort feature. You will be able to, here's what he says, the sorting will work alphabetically, but as soon as you actually go to one of your strongholds, that stronghold will go to the top of the list. Just like when you log in a character, that character goes to the top of the list on the character selects page. For me personally, I think that'll probably work fine because I tend to go to the same 2 or 3 strongholds all the time. But it's not really a sort.
No, it's not,
It's
and
a
it's
sort.
not. It's not what I would prefer. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they can't. Sorting is hard. It's an
Yes.
it's a
Yes.
hard problem. There's not, it's not
But
like databases have had this kind of thing built in, or you couldn't. I
it's,
don't know.
I mean, I'm sure they have a reason why it's not easy. And at least, they tried.
Yep, 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 yep. In guild news, so as we said, we had a monthly guild event on Friday. 3 cheers for Marcus for setting that up. And there will be one in August. So I think he even has the date set, but I didn't have it written down. So towards the end of August, there will be another mega event, which is monthly epic group activities for Aleact Est in SWTOR. And it will be titled Revenge of the Huts, and it will center around the Hutball Arena on the sky deck of the Rishi Stronghold, where we will be doing all sorts of fun guild PvP challenges and as you'd expect. So we're going to decorate it. We're going to have it all set up, and people can come shoot me if they would like. Also, as we've been saying, we're right in the middle of it. Our summer events for Alea Iacta Est, what we call our Summer of Love, which has been called that for 10 years. We do have another big event in Star Wars on Thursday, which is our Remembrance Day, which is sort of a serious real world event where we just take some time in our games at sort of memorial sites in games and remember people who are real life people who are no longer with us, which in a guild as large as ours and as long lived as ours over 10 years. That kind of thing happens, which is interesting. And a lot of us, we've had people that have met in guild and gotten married. We have people that have been friends for, a decade now, and it becomes pretty serious. So we take that opportunity every year and then spread around that throughout the rest of the week. I'm looking across aie-guild.org, the blog post for it. I see events. We had our Star Wars thing tonight. I see more events in Lord of the Rings and World of Warcraft and ESO and another one in Lotro and a couple more in WoW and Star Trek Online as well. I thought there was a Guild Wars one. The Guild Wars one I think happened on Monday.
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
So lots of great stuff. Yeah, I heard they a few people there in Guild Wars went and got involved in a massive like 100 or a couple hundred characters fighting a giant world boss of some kind. So yeah, check it out. That's our summer events.
And like we said earlier, this week Conquest is on the pub side. When you think of it, or like right now, just kick off an invasion force. Even if you're not planning to hit your own personal target this week for whatever reason, just go ahead and do that little bit of crafting, and you can do that every day. Mats are in the guild bank. There's plenty of mats. Doesn't even have to be your own mats. Just click on the guild bank, click in your crafting panel. And you don't have to have super high crafting skill either. If you don't have invasion force in your crafting panel, just go to the fleet because maybe your crafting is high enough and talk to the trainer and maybe you can craft it and you just thought you couldn't. So check it out.
Check it out. Yes. Yeah, which is awesome. Definitely grab those mats out of the guild bank. That's what they're for. Get yourself a stack of 7 each and do one each day type of thing. Well, for whatever, how many days.
And also, if
now,
you
5.
try and you can't get them out of the guild bank, say something in Discord so we can help you out there.
Yes. Yeah, you should be able to. Yeah, just check in with us on Discord. And we can get you helped out. And with that, hey, Seema, you want to kill all humans?
Yes. Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, because I'm not human, so that's fine with me.
I guess I'll have the astromech introduce this because I don't have somebody better to explain what's going on. That's right, buddy. We're going to go get a robot companion who loves to kill humans, if not all humans, at least a fair amount of humans. So this is an old school bit of Star Wars that was introduced back in the old days when we didn't have very many companions. You just had your base set of companions. I think, did we get Treek before or after HK? I think HK might have been the first additional companion to the list.
I think HK was first. HK 51.
And
Not to be confused with HK 47 or HK 55.
correct. So the deal was back then, a new companion was a thing. It was a big deal. And when they added it to the game, they not only added the companion, they made a relatively significant mission chain to go get them. And we're going to kick that off here, and we'll talk about it a little bit. You'll see sort of the main little mini flashpoint type of instance, which is sort of a puzzle area, which is one of my favorite things in the game, called the Theoretica. And then we'll talk a little bit about what happens that you won't see tonight, because we won't get to the planets to do the hunting for the extra HK parts. But it was serious. It was a serious mission, and in that way, it was pretty cool when everyone got together and everyone got one of these HK droids as a new companion to come and have and hang out and
It was kind of a status symbol, and also I think HK 51 from the beginning you could use him at level 1. I think he was the only companion, and so you'd see him like running around with new characters on Tython or Ord Mantell, and yeah, it was cool.
I got these babies on Ord Mantell. And yes, chat room, that this is a reference to Bender on Futurama. Hey baby, you wanna kill all humans? That's Bender's pickup line for the chick droids. So first thing you got to do.
That is a really funny show. If you haven't watched Futurama,
yes,
I say give it a shot.
It is a source of many good memes on the interwebs as well. So to kick it off, you got to go to Section X. This is all, it sort of starts and ends in Section X. There's a droid, there's an astromech right in the landing pad for Section X, which tells you to go talk to General Avroon, and it's a different guy. I forgot his name. Republic side, it's somebody else, but tells you to go into this little hidden heroic area over off the side of the map. Go track down the general or whoever you're supposed to track down on the Republic side, and he will send you into... Oh, Seema pulled... She aggroed. He'll send you into the first area that sort of kicks off the whole mission chain. So here we go. Hey, what's up, Everoon? Yeah, you can't get it. Seema might be in the middle of the quest chain. We're not sure, so we'll see.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll talk to him.
I requested a heat source and a medic hours ago. Unless
Stop
you're dying
whining.
or dead, you're not my reinforcements. Apologies. If you've been through what we have, you'd be a little jumpy too.
Stop whining or else.
I'll put you out of your misery if you like.
That won't be necessary. I'd like to live to see what's so special about a crashed ship. Years ago, when the Dreadmasters were first imprisoned here...
Yada, yada, yada.
Oh, the Dreadmasters. Oh, the Dreadmasters again.
The Dreadmasters excavating its
I'm
wreck
glad we
from the
killed
past
them.
here.
So this was,
High Command
Belsavis
sent me
was...
to recover the vessel.
The Dreadmasters, that's where they were hibernation imprisoned for a long time. In a few of your quest chains, at least, is it everything on the Imperial side? You wake up the Dreadmasters. That's part of the class story. Dreadmasters is also, that's where Soa's at. But yeah, so it makes sense that this is related to Dreadmasters originally. So this is the Fatality, was the ship that crashed, and he's saying, hey, there's something going on here. We've got to check it out. And I'm going to say, what's the point?
That's a lot of wasted resources. What's so special about the Fatality?
Apparently, the answer is above my rank. High Command believes the Fatality's cargo is so important, they won't even tell me what it is. I'm just supposed to find it. but we weren't prepared for the savages inside that vessel. The Dreadmaster Legions are led by a Hulk.
Dreadmaster
He
Legions,
keeps
huh?
our dead as frozen trophies.
So this is solid Dreadmaster stuff. They're trying to take over the ship. He's just another alien brute. Not for long. I'm going in. You know, hold my chilled grilling cocktail. I'm going in.
Learn the price of betraying the Empire. Give me coordinates.
While
Led
we're in
by a
there,
hook.
access the
That's what
fatalities
Toph and Zorn
classified
are.
records.
No,
That
they're
should clear
drooks.
up this little mystery. We
Oh,
hold
that's
this
right. They're
position.
drooks.
As we say, they're
Can't
drunks.
stay this pretty without learning some tricks.
Thank you, Nico. Thank you for yelling that in my ear. What the heck? what the heck? The heck, Nico? All right. So he had to give me, you know, quote unquote, give me the coordinates of this crashed ship, which is right here. It's
And it's huge.
It's just a huge thing that I'm like standing on top of while I'm talking to him. Give me these mysterious coordinates of wherever this crashed ship is. No, I need detailed directions. Yeah, just look at your feet, buddy. All right. So we come in here.
We have to kill things.
You can buy me around later.
Nico's loud. Hold on. I'm going to keep his voice really loud, and I'm just going to yell at him every time. Go down to the... Did we go down to the cargo
Look
deck?
at me.
No, what happened?
Help.
Yeah?
Helping. Look at me helping. No, we didn't. Oh, no, it doesn't go. It doesn't. That's right.
It
Something's
doesn't
broken.
work.
Buy me around later.
It's like burned
It's
out.
supposed to be broken. You're supposed to go, oh, it's broken. I need to go this way. And then you go, oh, there's bad guys here. I will kill the bad guys.
Sometimes I impress myself.
And I am playing on my
Nothing personal.
Marauder, which I barely know how to play. Oh, there's Smash.
Oh, I'm a healing spec. I thought it was a DPS spec. And I was like,
What
Um,
is this? Raging
going to
Burst.
put that-
Oh, this is what I
that
remember.
killing circle down and the healing circle went instead. I'm like, oh, okay.
And I couldn't find Smash, so that wasn't very effective. I smashed after they were
Yeah.
all dead. Then you jump down here. Here's another broken elevator. More droids. I'm gonna really smash them this time. Oops. Why didn't I get it? Oh. Maybe if I press the right buttons. Oh, look at that smash. It's awesome.
Look at all these command points.
Ooh, more. Smash is back, man. That's what I'm talking about. Double lightsabers. You know, this maraudering is pretty fun.
I don't know about you, but I don't need these command points because I'm already.
I am not. This is one of the classes that I am not. You know, one of the class categories that I am not. Whatever 300 on. So this is
I should have brought my Marauder for that reason, but that would have been too hilarious.
this character has a bank tab full of CXP packs from boss drops, waiting for that double XP week.
I don't have that patience. It's really smart, but I don't have that patience. I just click on them.
Shut up and die. That sounds good.
I didn't come here to talk. I came to cleanse the galactic gene pool.
You got me monologuing. Oh, let's go. Look at him jumping all around.
Helping.
Oh, I have Nico on heals. Should I take him off heals? Probably doesn't matter.
No, that's no.
I do enough damage for all of us. Okay, now check this out. Check it out. This was really cool. First time you came in here.
Yeah, I agree. It's still
Spoilers, I
pretty
guess.
cool.
Guess goes without saying. Here. Let me switch to full screen for you all so you can see what this looks like a little bit better. Check this out. You turn on the lights and look at all those. They're all busted. None of them work, but they're all a bunch of HK droids up there, which is pretty cool. So you come over here to this console. I forgot what we're getting out of here. We're not getting the schematics. I think we're getting, the shipping manifest, so we can figure out where to get the schematics. And this is going to tell us where it all came from, where the research was being done on the schematics for an HK droid, which is the Theoretica. Back up the elevator. We get to go talk to the general once again.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Thank you, Nico. Just what the doctor ordered. After this drink. Look at me helping. Look at me helping. Money penny. That's my companion, Sean Connery.
Your records, General. Now at least the mystery is solved.
Yep. Yep, what do you got for me? Go to the
Wonder that
Theoretical?
apprentice stole the fatality
Go to
all
the
those years
Theoretica.
ago. He could have easily freed the Dreadmasters with HK droids for his army.
Yeah, why
It
didn't they?
doesn't look like they ever got to leave this ship.
Clearly, Republic forces shot down the
They
fatality
got
when it
shot
arrived
down.
at Bell
Okay.
Why, with one HK droid, the Empire could make fast work of a troublesome Jedi or Republic. Records
Okay.
indicate the droids were all damaged and deactivated in
Yes,
the
they're all
crash.
broken.
To fix them, we need spare parts that may not even exist.
You've wasted my time, fool. No. Give me one and I'll help.
If I were to acquire these non-existent parts, I'd expect one of those droids as payment.
That seems only fair. And blast High Command if it disagrees. I can find a technician to reactivate the droids. Zerka Corporation created the HK droids.
Yes.
One of
We need their laboratory
archives might
archives.
contain a complete set of schematics. Not much.
Stay here and guard the wreck,
Keep an
because
eye
you're
on
not
the
going
fatality.
anywhere.
I don't want
Anyway.
Dreadmasters or Republic forces getting in while I'm gone.
High Command said the same. Udar, there's a place you could look that won't involve any negotiations with...
Yes. So now we go to
Can't
the...
stay this pretty without learning some tricks.
Nico. God. Ah. As soon as I'm done, he yells it. Okay, now
He's
travel
waiting
to
for you to.
Theoretica.
Okay, you might have to summon me because I don't have it on my map.
Okay. I'm traveling to the Theoretica now.
Me and Darth Hexed.
Mm,
We're just waiting.
delicious. That's what she says. Someone cleaned that up. She also says that. All right, you ready for a summon?
Yep, I'm ready.
Hello. Can you get in here?
Yeah.
Board the Theoretica. Looking down, cracking it open. Salvage a recording. Okay, so now the deal. So you jump into here. You get a flashlight because Theoretica is a scary place. I'm gonna turn on the flashlight. You don't have to have the flashlight on, but it does definitely help. And I didn't turn it on until halfway through it with the guild earlier tonight. So there's two things you're doing in here. One is a side quest, which is There's a bunch of 7, I believe, data logs that you can find in various places, and those 7 data logs tell a cool little story as you go along. So, do you have this quest, Seema?
No.
Oh, you just had the illumination probe in your inventory.
Yes.
So it's called Heroic 2 Directive Activate Assassination Protocols. Just so you know.
Just just out of curiosity, what section is it in your mission log?
Yes, it is in Companion.
Oh. Wait, what was it called in? Directive Activate Assassination Protocols?
Yes.
I do have it.
Find and recover the HK
Yay!
schematics.
We're in sync now.
Nice. All right.
It says find and recover the HK schematic.
Yep, that's it. So if you look around here, you look at the map. We're on this research vessel, and you look around on the floor, and you're seeing a bunch of stuff, and then you'll come across, like here's a room. We're gonna go in this room, and oh look, there's a bunch of corpses all over the ground. It's a mystery. You don't know what's going
I
on.
wonder what happened here.
It's terrifying. And then over here, oh, what do I find? There's a data log. So you can click that data log, and that's one of the 7. And you get the bonus to find all 7, and it will give you a little bit of a piece of the data story about what happened here originally, which is kind of cool.
And it is cool because you get them and you get these little snippets in all different order, but you still understand and can knit it together and make a story of what happened here on the Theoretica.
Yeah. So that's one thing you're doing. The second thing you're doing is trying to find your way through the ship and figure out where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to do next. I don't think there's anything else in this room.
BC wants us to read the data logs. No, you have to come on the Theoretica yourself.
What's in here? I think there might be another data log in here.
I'm afraid to go in any of these rooms.
And why are you afraid to go into these rooms, Seema?
Because I don't want to die.
So again, spoilers. Skip this part if you don't want spoilers, because this is fun to do just blind and not ever having been in here before. That's the way we did it originally, which was really, really fun. And after not having done it for a couple years and coming back, that's pretty much the way we're doing it tonight again. It is really a really cool sort of fun mystery experience to try to find your way around, and it'll take you a little while.
Yeah.
Like as you can see here, I'm getting lost again. I don't know exactly where we are. There's a corpse in the middle of the hallway. Oh, here. Okay, here's the first one. So this corpse is clickable. Click on this, and bam! I found an engineer's ID badge. I bet that's going to be useful for something. You don't know exactly what, but it will be. You got to use the engineering ID badge for something. We don't know what yet. What's in here? Oh, here. So here's a socket, right? Click on the socket and it says appears to be some sort of socket for a backup power source. So great. I guess we need to find some sort of power source. So that's our next step. So we've got the engineering ID badge. We're looking for a power source. I forgot where the power sources are. Oh, I know where they are. And then you go to like this door, and this door is locked. And it says security clearance required. Okay, well, we're going to have to find my ID badge isn't enough. We're going to have to find security clearance somewhere, somehow. Here's another room. I think there might be another data log in this room. More dead people. I see dead people. Oh, there's data log. They're everywhere.
That's a really old reference.
I guess it is. So hit another data log and tells you a little bit more of a story. It's a recording of a science officer. I'm not going to read them all in this one, but there she was laying there dead.
And yeah, I was just going to say, yeah.
Yeah, that's her. Smells delicious. Okay. So then we're gonna pop down here. You know, we're probably not gonna get through this whole thing. I did want to get through enough of it though. And I could keep doing it over and over because it's really fun.
Yeah.
Speaking, yes, as the chat room says, speaking of Bruce Willis in I See Dead People,
Sixth Sense.
M. Night
Spoiler
Shyamalan
alert.
has a new movie coming out called Glass. And it is part of the trilogy that did start with Unbreakable, which was a great movie. I did not see the second one, though, which was Split. Was that the second one?
Just what the doctor ordered.
All right, so now we're in this spec area. It's a little bit of a mess. And we're getting a little bit poisoned while we're here. So if you notice, there's a coolant leak, and it's damaging us. So you can't stand around here too long. But I did find a power source.
Do we only need one, or do we need to find both batteries?
I think we need 2, so I guess let's go to the other side and get the other one. Oh, I bet there's a data log over here. Is there? Maybe not. I'm gonna get stuck. You see a data log or anything?
No.
It's a trap. So let's go back up and then down the other side. I think you do need 2 of the power sources. You only need 1 until you get all the way up to level 6. There's just 2 levels up. We're like on level 4 right now. And then I think you need the other one. Engineering clearance accepted. Oh, that was a scary sound. Port engine access. Heading on down to Creepy Town. And there's another battery. You want to pick up that battery? You can get that one.
Feeling frail.
Check in here real quick. See if there's anything interesting. Let's go. Oh, there we go. Data log.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Shh, Nico. Zerka Emergency Procedures Manual, 12 Vital Steps for Surviving an Emergency. First, avoid panic. Zerka Corporation knows that if you work for us, you can handle the stress. Don't forget what you learned in training. Clear minds, clear profits. Second, always, and then it's a bunch of garbled junk. Error, all further data lost, shutting down.
So Unbreakable, wasn't that a movie where Bruce Willis couldn't die
Yeah.
or couldn't be hurt or something?
Yeah, he was sort of couldn't be hurt. It wasn't like it wasn't really clear. It was sort of ambiguous whether he was like actually a superhero or he just was really lucky or he just couldn't be hurt. And then by the end, it sort of, some pieces sort of get connected in a really interesting way with Samuel L. Jackson's character, which leads into this idea that there is something sort of superhero-ish going on. All right, so what did we do? We got the power source. Oh, we got to go plug the power source in that other room.
Yeah. I do remember
that's not it.
seeing
Where's
it a long time ago.
Where's the room we
This-
got to plug the power source in? Oh, is it up top there? It is. Is it this northmost room? I think it might be. Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
There. So now I put the thing in the socket
Find
and
me
it lights up
around
this.
later.
Nico. It lights up this console. And now we both need to click this console, which then will give an override to open up the big bulkhead to get us upstairs to the next area. Deck 5 lockdown disengaged. Disengage. Engage. And then the bulkhead's open. And now deck 4 is we've sort of cleared that out, except if you look on the map, there's one room we still couldn't get into on deck 4. What did it require? Let me go over, click on it. Medical? Was that the medical ID? Or security clearance? Security override? Something. Security clearance required.
Helping.
Okay.
So I think you're getting the gist of it. This is a key step along the path to the HK droid. After you're done here, so let's just walk up here. You can see that we're not going to see much of the map, but there's a whole nother level with another set of these rooms and some really cool stuff that happens in here, including there's 2 puzzle rooms in here that have some extra surprises built in. That maybe this is a place maybe where we can hold off and stop. We've been going for a good amount of time now anyway. Definitely check it out if you haven't done this before. I would recommend doing it blind. This next level, it's not a super long adventure. But getting through this and the challenges and figuring out what's going on and solving it and maybe dying along the way is pretty awesome. When you're done with this, what you end up with is a manifest of the parts that you need to fix up and repair the HK-51 droid that you're recovering off of the fatality. And to get those parts, you sort of have to go on a scavenger hunt across the galaxy. One of the parts you get to buy off a hidden vendor that's somewhere out on one of the planets. One of the parts, most of the parts, I think 6 of the parts or 5 of the parts, you need to go to a planet and you need to use this device, which is pre-seeker droid, but it's almost sort of like a seeker droid. It scans an area that's about 50 meters in radius. And in it, so that the part, they tell you the part is sort of like in this general area, like this half of this zone. Go over by this area on Terrace. The part is somewhere over there. That's what the manifest tells you. So you go there with your seismic detector and check these 50 meter radius circles. And if you don't see anything in there, then you got to move, you got to move 50 meters away or 100 meters away and do it again. If you have a group like we had tonight, everybody can spread out and everybody can drop their circles and everybody can triangulate in and find the part really quick. If you're doing it by yourself, it's a long process to track down those parts. It's not terrible, it's not impossible, but it is long. So if you can get a group for that part, I recommend doing that with a group. And then you're going to assemble, you're going to grab all of those HK parts, you're going to come back to the fatality, you're going to load them into the repair unit, and you're going to get an HK droid companion, which is pretty cool. Used to be a very effective companion, had some abilities that other companions definitely did not have at the time. It was one of the more powerful companions. Now the power is sort of normalized across companions, but it's still a very cool process to get him. Once you have it on one character, you can pay 1 million credits on other characters to unlock it out of your Legacy Achievements tab. However, you can also, on those characters, just run through this quest again and save yourself the 1 million credits. So it is very cool. It's a very cool old school bit of content in the game with these sort of like this mini Flashpoint puzzle area that you're going through. I recommend it. Any final parting comments from you, Seema, on the droid or the quest or this kind of thing?
I'll just say that, this is not really relevant, but back in the day, HK-51 had an attack that would one-shot a strong.
Yeah, it was like
It had like a 5K. Yeah, long cast time, long cooldown, but it was still... So it was more of a little toy than anything else, but it was still fun to play with. Of course, he's like every other companion now, but...
Yeah, but he was quite powerful back then. It's also fun to have your HK droid out when you're in the Foundry, for example, where HK-47 is at. I believe it used to be the case. Didn't we track this down on the podcast once, probably about 2 years ago?
Yes. We did try to.
I believe if you have HK51 out as a companion when you're doing the HK47 line, I thought there was some commentary between them at that point, but maybe we're making that up, or maybe it's at some other point in the process. But it's cool. And then it's also only one of the 3 HK droids that are part of the whole Old Republic storyline. HK47 being the first that was part of Knights of the Old Republic. HK and he comes back in SWTOR in a couple places. HK51 is this one that you assemble and you get as a companion, and then HK55, who's part of the I guess it's
Knights of the Fallen
Knights
Empire.
of the Fallen Empire. Yeah, so it's not Shadow of Revan, it's Knights of the Fallen Empire. HK47 does come back as part of Shadow of Revan expansion content, though, as well. All right, with that, I think we can kick EPC 252 out an airlock because he unfortunately does not have a one-shot, one-kill ability to prevent us from doing this to him. But, you know, he's programmed to like being our broadcast droid. So good job, 252. All of you out there, please keep up with us on Twitter at MaxTheGray and at AIESEMA. And if you know cool people out there that should be playing with us, tell them to come check us out on Starforge, the server. Tell them to come check out our podcast and follow us on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube and come subscribe and drop 5-star reviews on iTunes. Maybe. We don't really care, but I guess you can do that. And certainly come check out our guild at aie-guild.org, where you can find our Discord information. You can jump into Discord. You can ask us for a guild invite. Especially this week is a great time to come check out the guild and all the things that are going on. We would love to have you there. And we will talk to you later.
Later, everyone.